Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Stories of Hope. I'm Christine Hotchkiss, your host. I believe everyone has a story that can help, heal, inspire, educate, and give hope. That's my big word. Just like our fingerprints, they put us on the path of our lives, and some find purpose. Today, my guests are two teenage girls who have a dream. And when I say teenage, I mean teenage. They are incredible young ladies. We're going to say Shreyaa and Esha. I think I said that right. Did I say that right, ladies?
Esha.
These young ladies are doing a remarkable thing in their communities. Let me introduce real quickly before we have our conversation. They have an organization in Virginia called Nest4us. It's a teen-led 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to providing volunteer solutions to the community to make the world a better place through kindness. We all know that kindness is much needed, and in our current situation, we do need some help. So these two young ladies founded and volunteer many different areas within their community. They're a sister team, by the way. And we're talking like 17 and 14, very motivated at this age. They're very active in their communities like teenagers are. The pair co-founded Nest4us as a platform for giving back to the community in a multiple of ways. Without further ado, I'm going to let them explain what they do because they do so much, I can't even read everything they provided me. Please help me welcome these girls, Shreyaa and Esha. Good morning, girls.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good. So you're in Virginia.
Yes.
I'm in Arizona. Yes, we do have green in Arizona. If anyone doesn't think we have green, we have cactus too. Tell me more about what Nest4u is.
Yeah, so Nest4us is a 501c3 nonprofit that basically provides volunteer solutions to the community to make the world better through kindness. And we do this through our 5 core programs that basically allows people of all ages and backgrounds to give back in a way that interests them.
So our 5 programs are Nest Nurtures, our food redistribution program, Nest Tutors, our free virtual tutoring program, Nest Cares, our care package program, Nest Buddies, our birthday in a box program, and our newest initiative that we launched this year is Nest Inspires, our leadership program.
And I have to correct myself. I said Nest4u and I meant Nest4us, so I apologize. No, I want to say it correctly, but yes, wow. So where did you get this idea?
Yeah, so we have been volunteering since we were very little, even back in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
Our mom would take us with her to different like PTA events, school, community events, things like that. And even at a young age, we really enjoyed giving back. And I know that sounds a little bit cliche,
right?
Cliche, but we really did. Like, we saw how much joy we were bringing to other people and how much joy that brought us. And we really wanted to share that with our friends and community because it was just us, our family volunteering together, which was awesome. We had a lot of fun, but we really wanted to get others involved and have their families get involved. And so that's the reason why we decided to really form a nonprofit to give these opportunities to people so they can give back doing whatever they're passionate about.
Mm-hmm. So kudos to mom. I know what it's like to be a mom and say, as much as we want to give our kids everything there is, we also need to give them the reality of life, and that is you can't always have what you want. And so you got to go out there and see that not only do you give back, it's helpful, you may need that on the receiving end one day or know someone that does. And so when you give, it helps you as well. And so it also allows you to see the reality of things. I've taught my kids to go and feed the homeless as well. And I think that was part of what I had read in your intro, the homeless. Give me more about your homeless out there, because I know what it is here in Arizona.
Sure. So we serve homeless people and low-income families in the DMV area. So that's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And we've served over 40,000 meals to those people. And
yeah, so when we go out, I'll just share one quick story about something that happened a while back. And basically, when we go to DC, so we usually go to sightsee and to go to the museums and see the cherry blossom, which is very beautiful.
On my bucket list, I've seen pictures.
It's beautiful.
It's very beautiful. But what you also notice is that there are a lot of people who are homeless living on the streets, and they might have not eaten for over a week, or they might not have enough money to buy clothes. And so we noticed all that, even at a young age. It was, you notice it. Most most people have probably crossed someone who's homeless at least once in their life, or will eventually in their lives. And so just seeing that made us realize that, oh, we have all this stuff. We realize how privileged we are. We have food, we have clothes. So we believe that those are basic necessities that everyone should have. And so that's kind of the reason why we started with Nest Nurtures and our food redistribution program.
And another thing we noticed was that so much food was going to waste in our communities, like in our schools, even on vacations and on our cruises and stuff like that. So we really wanted to take that excess food from our community and give it to the people who really need it.
And I think I deviated a little bit from my story, but basically we were driving back from DC one day, and we kind of approached a traffic light. And there was a man sitting at the street corner holding a sign that said, hungry need food. And just seeing that, right? We had food in our car. It was a long day. We were really hungry, really thirsty. It was a hot day. But we realized that maybe after like an hour, we would get home and we'd have a fridge full of food, full of water, everything. But this man, he's probably been out here all day looking for something to eat. And so we really we had a granola bar, a banana, water bottle, yes, very important, and we gave it to him, and he was so happy. And we know how much it would have impacted him and changed his life, because he wouldn't have had anything to eat that day, right? And so we were giving him food, and we were showing him that we cared for him. And so we think that's very important.
Yeah, that really showed us that even just 30 seconds is all it takes, and you can really make a difference in someone's life.
You know, the people that are homeless don't always have family either, and sometimes it's just them, whether they have a mental illness or not. You said it already. Everyone should have, you know, in my beliefs, everyone should have a place to call home, but that isn't always the case. But we should be able to have food in our stomach and clothes on our back and socks and shoes, particularly because, not that we don't need all our clothes, but shoes and socks, when they're out there on the streets, their feet are being, you know, walking around a lot. The shoes get worn out more than what you and I do with more than one pair of shoes, right? Or socks. And we get to wash them. We get to get new ones if need be. And that's not the case there. Do you have anything to do with clothing drives as well? Helping them clothe, getting them clothes, or just food?
So usually we do that during the winter. Do you want
We partnered with Starbucks. So we actually partner with Starbucks and Panera Bread to get their excess food for every single, we do 6 days a week of food rescue. So we take their excess food at the end of every night and we give it to the homeless. And we also partnered with Starbucks pretty recently, last year, to get their they had a clothing drive there, and so we partnered with them to give clothes to the homeless in the winter.
And so those are things like hats, mittens, socks, gloves, things like that, scarves. And so we usually do this in the winter because that's when
hand warmers.
Yeah. Oh, hand warmers. Can't forget those. So we usually do that during the winter, and that's when it's really needed the most, because they're stuck outside and it could be snowing and it's freezing. Sometimes like DC gets really cold. And so if they're on the streets, it's below freezing. Exactly. They have no shelter, no warmth. And so we wanted to give them what we could. And so with these clothing drives, we usually distribute these clothes along with our care packages, which have toiletries, non-perishable items, food items, and notes of encouragement. Do you want to
tell me more about tell me more about the notes of encouragement. You caught my attention on that one.
So we do these large-scale service projects where we pack care packages and sandwich assembly sandwich bags, like you were saying. So in each bag, we put some necessities and also our trademark note of encouragement. These notes say messages like, we love you, stay strong, you're appreciated, things like that, to really just uplift them and you know, turn their day around and brighten their day, really.
That is very, very nice of you to do that, because you know, words mean a lot. And so I always told my kids when they were younger, you know, your words are important, and that means when you say something that's bad, it's going to stick. If you say something good, it's going to stick, right?
Yeah, it shows them that we care about them and that we think of them as human beings with feelings. And you know, that connection is very important. And we've met so many cool homeless people. Like, you would think there's such a bad stigma of showing that homeless people are generally mean or they're scary, but from our experiences, they're actually really nice, and they have stories to tell. And it's just been so inspiring to hear about their journeys, and just they have such good advice too. And one particular one that comes to my mind is actually at our Thanksgiving. We had a Thanksgiving feast we do every year with the homeless in DC.
Okay.
And so during that feast, we sit down and we talk with them while eating the meal. So it's kind of like a family kind of thing. Thanksgiving's usually you sit down with your family and you eat a big meal. So we do that kind of same thing with the homeless people. And so when we were doing it, we were talking to a man who was showing us pictures of some ice sculptures he had actually sculpted. Turns out he was an ice sculptor in Iceland, one of those.
Ireland, yeah.
Yes. And so he was so excited to show us his pictures and tell us about the adventures he's been on, and it was just so awesome because he really felt that like we were there for him and we were basically their family that day.
You shared with him, and here's my tagline: when you make a difference in someone's life, you create magic within theirs. And it sounds like that's been my phrase for a long time, and that is exactly what you guys just did. And there's 3 things I have experienced with life in my own journey and people that I have talked to, like you two, is there are 3 things that not one single person is exempt from. And those 3 things are no one's exempt from pain, no one's exempt from tragedy, and no one's exempt from blessings. And this individual that you helped, this one particular story, I'm sure there's a lot more you can share. You don't know why he's there. You don't have to know. What you did do was make him feel like he was, like you said in your notes, you're appreciated. That's huge. We all want to feel, you said it, connected. There's a connection, a human connection. And as you guys know, what we've been going through for the 2020 year, it seems like there's a disconnection because of what we've been put under. For now, it'll pass, but that connection is very, very important in our lives. Whether you have a family like you have yours, or I have mine, or this individual had a family, or whatever the conditions were that these individuals are homeless, they had a life at one time, something happened to them, this is why they're where they're at. Not always do the homeless want to be homeless. I've actually met someone, I went on a census that we do every year. It's called a point in time. They do it nationwide, where you go out and you collect on how many people are homeless. And some of them want to be homeless. They don't want the responsibilities of bills, or maybe they have a mental illness and they can't do what we would think that they would be able to do. So the stories that you're giving, you made my heart warm with saying that you're doing the connections and you're giving these little notes and you're giving them the time for them to share a story. And like you said, there's a stigma on homeless. But what people don't realize is we don't know why, and it's not for us to decide. But what it is for us to decide is, what can we do to make that day, that one increment of time that you have passed in their life, to be important, right? I was going to ask you, do you have a group of other people that work with you when you're volunteering? Is it just the 2 of you?
So we actually, in our team, we're so happy and proud that in just 4 years, we've grown from just us 2 volunteering as a sister team, like you mentioned, to a team, a family really, of over 1,000 dedicated volunteers.
And so these volunteers, of all ages, our youngest is around 4 and our oldest is around 70. And so we're mainly concentrated in the youth and teen range, but because we really want to inspire the youth to get involved, because we are the hope of the future. And so it's been really awesome, because just all the support we've gotten from the community, nothing would be possible without them. And so just seeing how much we've grown and how much our community has supported us all the way through has been really inspiring for us.
So how much is involved with your school? Do you have anything that you deal with your classmates, or maybe the school, that helps with this program you have?
Yeah, so I just graduated
Congratulations.
this year, but, so when I was in high school, I'm a freshman in college now, but when I started high school, so we started Nest around 4 years ago, so that was around when I started high school. So right then and there, I ended up joining a bunch of volunteer clubs at my school. And so what we noticed that was different about those clubs versus our organization was that in those clubs, there was like a set hour requirement. And so we for our organization feel that the reason our team has grown so much is because we don't have an hour requirement or a specific amount of activities that you have to do or a specific amount of money that you have to raise for a cause. We let people decide what they want to give back through. And so that is something that has been different from school. But our school clubs have definitely, we've connected with and partnered with them on a lot of different projects, and we've had volunteers from our school and our friends, of course, our friends and even our teachers have come to a lot of our events, which has been really awesome. And so just connecting, our school community has been so supportive, and just having that connect between school and our extracurricular organization, Nest, has been surreal, really.
Wow, I am so humbled to hear what you guys are doing and how humbled your faces are. And this is also a podcast, so people won't be able to see your faces. But these two ladies, oh my gosh, at such a young age, already saw what the future needs, even in the current moment. And I am very proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you had mentioned, real quickly, you had mentioned some events. Do you have an annual event that you do that comes together? And if so, what is it?
We do these large-scale service projects, 6 times a year?
It depends, it varies.
Yeah, like we do one for Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, like different events throughout the year. And these events are, well, pre-COVID, where hundreds of volunteers would come, and we would all do like assembly line style and pack bags, care packages and sandwich bags and things like that. So those are our events where the whole family can really get involved, and they're really special to our heart. But with COVID happening, we couldn't do that. But now we've transitioned into smaller scale, like 10 volunteers or so, social distance, masks and things like that.
Yeah, and so that we had one last weekend in honor of International Youth Day, and so we had around 10 youth from our community come together, put together bags. We really miss having the like big group, large scale stuff, but
we all
we're gonna
do.
wait
Until
COVID ends for that. But another annual event that we have and that we're hoping to have this year is our Thanksgiving feast, which we get really excited for that.
It's so fun.
Is in November during Thanksgiving, we throw a big feast and we go sit down and talk with them, which is just a great way, again, to connect with the homeless people. And one more, which this is probably our favorite annual event that we do, is celebrating our birthdays at the homeless shelter.
Really?
This is something that people don't often think about, because usually birthday party, maybe go out to a movie or have a party with friends. No. We celebrate at a homeless shelter. So our birthdays are actually coming up this month, end of this month for her.
Are you sure?
We're 1 day apart.
Yeah.
So she's September.
October 1st. Well, 3 years.
3 years. But 1 day.
I know.
And so we basically we go to a homeless shelter and we cut a cake and we basically celebrate with them. And again, that feels like they're part of our celebration, and that makes us feel good too, because we're helping people while also celebrating our special day as well.
Wow. Because you can have anything any time of the year, right? Awesome. Now, remind me again of what town you're in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ashburn, Virginia.
Okay.
That's in Northern Virginia.
Perfect. So if anyone wants to know more about your organization or become a part of it, where can they find you?
So people can find us on our website, which is Nest4us.org. Also, they can see our social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that good stuff. So they can go see some of our pictures and videos in action there. If anybody has any questions, they can email us. All our contact information is also on our website as well.
And for my listeners or our viewers, I found them on Instagram. I don't do a whole lot on Instagram. I actually have better following on my Facebook, but that's how I found you guys. So yeah, so I can confirm all the different platforms that you're out there. There's one last question I love to ask, and that is, since there's two of you, you get separate answers. What message would you like to give everyone based on your journey, which has been short, being 14 and 17, up to this point, your journey of your life, either what you've been doing, what you're currently doing with your nonprofit, or just about life in general?
So like you want us to give a message, just
Yeah. Do you have a specific message you want to share with everyone?
Okay, so I'll go first. Basically, for me, if someone wants to do something in their community, the first thing they need to have is passion for that cause. And just having that passion for it is the first step, because for us, that's the reason we're able to and we continue to do what we do is because we are passionate about it. And that will drive you to success right there. If you're not passionate about something, you won't get that far, because that passion's not there. And then another thing that kind of ties in with that is the idea of having time to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a question we get asked a lot, because as teens, we do a lot of stuff outside of school. So we do school, and then we play soccer, we do martial arts. I'm a 3rd degree black belt.
I'm a 2nd degree black belt.
And we're
Oh
both
my
assistant coaches. Yeah. And we both dance, and yeah. And so
Teenagers.
so as teenagers, we do a lot. And then we also make sure to have time for volunteering on the weekends, and we do Nest stuff every day, all day, every day. And so something I like, people have asked us is, how do we manage to balance these academics, these extracurriculars, and then still keep time open for volunteering? And so for us, we believe that you don't need to have the time. You should make the time to help others. So think about this. What do people enjoy doing in their free time? Maybe watching a movie, hanging out with friends.
Going to the mall.
Exactly. So yeah, we all block out time in our schedules to do these things. So why can't we do that with community service? It's easy, it's fun, and you get to meet and connect with so many new people while helping those in need. And so we believe that community service has really strengthened our time management and organizational skills, which has really allowed us to put equal amounts of effort into everything we do.
Wow, that was pretty powerful. Okay.
Sure. So through Nest4us, we really emphasize the importance of spreading kindness and positivity always. And whether that's through feeding the hungry and homeless, or tutoring a child, or simply sending that special note of encouragement and smile to someone who's having a rough day, we believe that every act of kindness, no matter how big or small that action may be, makes an impact and really sparks that ripple of change. And one of our favorite mottos we like to leave you guys with is, if you can't help 100 people, then just help one. And you can, the best part is that it only takes 30 seconds to change someone's entire day or even life for the better.
And so that's going back to the story that we talked about at the traffic sign. And so or even that story of the ice sculpting man, just sitting down and listening to someone, that's all you have to do. That itself changes someone's day. It doesn't have to be some big action.
Mm-hmm.
Even just something small can really make a difference.
Wow, those are some very powerful, and I believe in every word you said too. If you can make the time for other things, you can make the time for your community. It's a priority. And passion. You got to have passion. You can't copy someone else's stuff. Someone said yesterday to me, said, life's not a test. You can't copy or cheat it. I was like, wow, you're right. It's not a test. So why are we trying to, make it as if it is? Very powerful messages, ladies. Thank you so much. One more time. What's that?
Thank you so much for having us here. We love talking with you and getting to share a story.
Yes. One more time, where can you be found on social media?
So our Facebook is Nest4us, our YouTube is Nest4us, Instagram is @JoyNest, Twitter is @JoyNest4, and our website is www.nest4us.org.
Keep doing what you're doing. And life does happen. You're going to find that things will happen that you won't be able to probably commit to it, but you're building a team that you'll have other people to be able to fill in, so that this dream and passion that you guys founded won't just disappear one day. Because homelessness is not it's a 24-hour thing, and it's a 7-day thing. People think, oh, I have the weekend to do what I want, but there are people who, this is their life. They live it every day. Or something like in this current situation, people have lost a lot of things that have put them in this position, not because they wanted to, but because it just happened. So powerful messages you both have given today, and you're doing great. I very much commend you, and good job to Mom for starting you out at a young age to appreciate not only that you have what you have, but there are other people that don't, and that you can give back, and it feels good, doesn't it?
Definitely.
All right, ladies. Thank you again for being my guest and sharing your journeys and your wisdom. We're going to say wisdom today, because you said a lot of good things.
Of course. Thank you so much for having us.
And those of you who are watching this or listening to this, if you have a story you want to share, or know someone who has a story that should be heard, or an organization in your community that should be recognized as a resource to helping the community, please reach out to me. You can send me a message either on this show, which would be found on Facebook, on my YouTube, or you can email me to the address of Christine with a CH at storiesofhope.com, and that is stories with a Y. Until next time, everyone, I wish you well, and you take care.